Hey, it's Pete. I'm back with another tag, thanks to Pat. Um, Pat did a video. This is a follow up to a tag I did a couple days ago. Pat did a video where she combined two tags, and I decided to do them both. So I already did the seriously well read tag, and now I'm going to do the books I've not read tag, which was created by, it's got a little complex history here, so let me get down and make sure I get it right. Gavin at Genre Books created it. Where is this stuff? This is the books I've not read tag, created 3 years ago by Greg at Another Bibliophile Reads, and inspired by a video by Crystal at Fiber Arts Reads, Fiber Artsy Reads. That's a new channel to me. I'll have to look into that. And the tag was revived by Gavin at Genre Books 23, and Pat was tagged by Gavin. I was tagged by nobody, so here it goes. It's easy and difficult just to admit 5 books you've not read that you really ought to have. And so there are 5. First is a classic book, then a fiction book, then a nonfiction book, then a genre book, and then the book you've owned for the longest time but not read yet. So for my classic book, I picked, I got to get to the pictures here. And I'm trying to keep this to books that I really feel like I should have read. Like I have no excuse not to have read. And for the classic, I'm going with Cranford by Mrs. Gaskell, by Elizabeth Gaskell. Thought I had a better picture of it here too. It doesn't matter. It's reason I should have gotten to it is not very long. It is, I watched the BBC series. I like Elizabeth Gaskell that I've read. The only thing I've read by her is her biography of her friend Charlotte Bronte, but I like her writing. I might have read a couple of short pieces that she did. I think there was a roundabout piece, that like a collaborative piece that she did with Dickens and Wilkie Collins and her, and it's not very long. And it's my kind of stuff. It's like a cozy little town kind of, and it's not like North and South, I guess, is her major book, which sounds like kind of more of a slog to me, frankly, with industrial stuff and business and factory problems in the north of England. But this, I should be able to read this. In fact, maybe I'll get to it pretty soon. Again, books I should have read already. So the next category was a fiction book. I'm going to go with this one, European Central by William T. Vollman. I'm thinking about this because it's been on the used bookstore I frequent here in Cuenca, Ecuador. They have a copy of it. It's probably like $10, $12. Sits on the bottom of the shelf on the V's on the English language general fiction, and I've heard about him a lot. I haven't read anything by him. I know he's semi-Dubro adjacent, but I think it's a book I could have read and should read. Number 3 is nonfiction. Oh my God, where did they all go? Oh, here's another cup of Cranford. See, how could I not have read this yet? Oh, I guess I don't have a copy of it. Well, what I'm going to say is the Peloponnesian War. I could really say any of the classic, traditional, essential Greek or Roman classics of literature. I'm pretty well read in some aspects of classical literature. I've read all the Greek tragedies by the 3 main playwrights. I've read some Plato. I've read some Aristotle. I've read Ovid. So I'm not completely ignorant of any of those things. I just never got around to any of the histories, and I really should do that. So I'll say Peloponnesian War, because I don't know which historian wrote which. Herodotus and all those dudes. I really need to read those someday. Next is number 4. Am I missing one? Fiction is a genre book. A genre book that you haven't read. Well, I'm going to go with a series. I mean, this will represent it. This is the title I really like. Well Schooled in Murder by Elizabeth George. This is not the first one, but these are the Inspector Lynley mysteries. Or right up my alley. It's kind of interesting. Elizabeth George is an American woman. I don't know where she lives now. I don't know where she lived then, but she's kind of, I guess I would call her the Lee Child of Great Britain, because just like Lee Child writes, is a British man who lives in London, writes the very American Jack Reacher stories. She was doing this long ago. This was kind of rare at this time that somebody would be this successful as an American writing about Britain, writing a crime series set in Britain, and apparently they're very good. They're up to 22 now. I did start the first one. It was a little slow for me. The problem with some of these long-running series is they vastly improve as they go along. Not a problem for the readers, but it's kind of makes them harder to get into. But I would like to read her series. I love the reason I picked this one. I just love the title of this book. You know exactly what this is when you see this. It's a murder at a boys' school. Well Schooled in Murder. What a brilliant, classic kind of British detective novel kind of setting and title. So I want to get to those someday, but it is a long series. Number 5, the one I've had the longest. I don't really know for sure because I only have ebooks now. If I can find it. This is a book I've wanted to read for a really long time, because I remember starting to watch the BBC adaptation of it. I must have been in my early 20s, and so it would have been on Masterpiece Theater, PBS in the United States. There was an adaptation of this, and I stopped watching it because I thought it was really good and I wanted to read the novel. Then I didn't read the novel because it's quite late in the career of this writer, who I've read a lot of, but I haven't read this far. I've only read as far as 1897. Well, I've read all his short stories. I had those 5-volume Library of America short stories, which includes a lot of novellas. And I read up to 1897, What Maisie Knew. This book is from 1904. I think it's considered, he's a writer who's kind of considered to have dropped off a bit in later years. But this is maybe one of his last great novels. And it is The Golden Bowl by Henry James. I've got at least one more that's earlier than this that I want to read first, but it's going to be a while before I get to it. It's probably been 40 years I've been planning to read this book, and maybe one of these days. Okay, that's it. Thank you, Pat. Thank you, Gavin. Thank you. Who else? Everyone. And I'll talk to you soon.